Is the Trump administration stepping up efforts to uncover Iran's alleged secret drone network, as Washington intensifies its pressure campaign against Tehran? The United States has announced a reward of up to $15 million for information that could help expose and dismantle Iran's alleged drone network. As Tehran is reported to have targeted a U.S. base in Kuwait, Washington is now turning its focus toward disrupting Iran's alleged drone infrastructure in a widening confrontation. U.S. authorities are scrambling for intelligence on what they describe as the IRGC's shadow drone network, as efforts to track its operations gather pace. The United States has offered a reward of up to $15 million for information related to an alleged Iranian drone network, seeking assistance in identifying individuals and activities linked to the operation. The offer was announced through the U.S. State Department's Rewards for Justice program, which provides financial incentives for information that supports American national security and counterterrorism efforts. U.S. authorities said they are seeking information on the financial network of Kimia Part Sivan, or KIPAS, alleging that the company plays a key role in supporting Iran's drone-related activities. The United States described the company as the drone production arm of the IRGC Quds Force, alleging that they are involved in the development and procurement of unmanned aerial systems. The reward also covers information leading to the identification or disruption of 7 alleged senior KIPAS officials and their associates, as U.S. authorities seek to uncover the broader financial and operational network behind the company. The individuals named include Hassan Arambunazhad, Reza Nahardani, Mehdi Nagneh, Hadi Zavaraki, Abolfazl Mashkani, Abbas Sartaji, and finally Ehsan Mohaga. The United States said eligible informants could receive relocation assistance in addition to the financial reward, offering extra protection and support for individuals whose safety may be at risk after providing credible information. The announcement comes amid escalating tensions between the United States and Iran across the Middle East, as both sides continue to exchange accusations and confront each other through military, diplomatic, and economic measures. Iran said it targeted key facilities at the US-run Ahmed Al-Jaber Air Base in Kuwait, describing the operation as a significant strike against what it called an important American military installation in the region. The Iranian army said the strike was carried out as part of the 27th phase of Operation Thunderbolt, presenting it as the latest stage in its ongoing military campaign. According to the Iranian army, loitering drones were used during the latest operation, with the military claiming the unmanned systems were deployed to carry out precision strikes on designated targets. Tehran claimed the drones targeted aircraft shelters at Ahmed Al-Jaber Air Base, alleging that the facilities were being used to support U.S. military and aerial operations. Iran also said satellite communication systems were among the targets, claiming the operation was intended to disrupt critical military communications and surveillance capabilities. Equipment storage facilities were also targeted during the operation, according to the Iranian statement, which said multiple military assets were included in the list of objectives. The Iranian army described Ahmed Al-Jaber Air Base as a key hub for U.S. air and surveillance operations, alleging that it plays a central role in supporting American military activities across the region. It said the base plays a major role in supporting U.S. military operations in the Middle East, claiming it serves as an important center for logistics, reconnaissance, and operational coordination. Tehran said the attack was carried out in retaliation for recent U.S. strikes inside Iran, presenting the operation as a response to what it described as American military aggression. Iran linked the operation to a reported U.S. airstrike on a residential home on Qeshm Island, claiming the latest action was a direct response to that alleged attack. Tehran also said the United States had been conducting strikes in southern Iran since earlier this month, accusing Washington of expanding its military operations in the region. Iran accused Washington of violating the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, alleging that recent U.S. actions breached commitments outlined under the agreement. At the time Iran released its statement, U.S. officials had not publicly commented on the claims, and there was no immediate response from Washington regarding the allegations. Iran's parliament speaker strongly condemned a reported U.S. airstrike on Qeshm Island, calling it a serious escalation and expressing strong criticism over the alleged military action. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf accused the United States of targeting residential homes in the Char Tangu area, saying that the strike put civilian lives and local communities at significant risk. He described the reported strike as a continuation of what he called U.S. atrocities against Iran, claiming it reflected an ongoing pattern of hostile actions directed at the country. In a post on X, Galibaf said the United States soils its hands with a new crime every day, using the statement to sharply criticize Washington's actions and reiterate his condemnation of the reported attack. In his post, Iran's parliament speaker said, and I quote, "The United States soils its hands with a new crime every day. The terrorist attack on the residential homes of civilians on Keshem Island is a continuation of the atrocities in Minab and Lamed. Americans have grown accustomed to making up for the slaps they receive on the battlefield by spilling the blood of the innocent. They will pay the price." Unquote. Iran's parliament speaker linked the US strike to earlier incidents in Minab and Lamed, suggesting that the latest development was part of a broader series of confrontations between the two countries. Galibaf claimed that the United States attempts to compensate for what he described as battlefield slaps by targeting civilians, accusing Washington of shifting its focus toward non-military targets. The Iranian official warned that the United States will pay the price for its actions, delivering a strong statement that indicated further consequences could follow from the reported strike. Iran said such attacks demonstrate what it called the terrorist nature of US actions, arguing that these incidents reflect a pattern of aggression against Iranian interests and civilians. Galibaf said Iran's armed forces continue to target military objectives and US bases, maintaining that their operations are focused on strategic locations rather than civilian areas. Iran claimed that the United States had turned to attacks on civilians after facing battlefield setbacks, alleging that military difficulties led Washington to adopt a different approach. Iran's Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters chief issued a sharp warning to the United States on July 30th, escalating Tehran's rhetoric amid continuing regional tensions. Major General Ali Abdullahi claimed US forces have now realized that coffins are part of their equipment, describing it as the new reality facing American troops in the region. Major General Ali Abdullahi said, and I quote, "The Americans and their mercenaries have today realized deep in their souls that their coffins are part of their equipment in the region," unquote. The commander said the remark reflects what he described as the harsh reality now confronting US forces operating across the strategically vital Gulf region. The Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters chief also repeated a statement previously attributed to Iran's late supreme leader while reinforcing Tehran's military posture. Major General Ali Abdullahi declared that the era of strike and escape has ended, repeating the warning during remarks carried by Press TV. Abdullahi warned that any future miscalculation by the United States would invite severe consequences and a forceful military response from Iran. The commander claimed Iranian forces inflicted heavy losses on their enemies despite facing technologically superior weapons and advanced military capabilities. Abdullahi also claimed that modern military technology and hybrid warfare tactics ultimately failed to weaken or overcome Iran's defensive and combat capabilities. Iran said its armed forces remain fully prepared to respond immediately and decisively to any threat directed against the country's sovereignty or territorial integrity. Abdullahi claimed that any hostile action against Iran would be answered with what he described as a decisive and regret-inducing response. The general also claimed the United States and its allies have been forced to reassess the true cost of initiating any new military confrontation with Iran. He further described the continued US military presence across the region as illegal, according to remarks carried by Press TV. Iran maintained that the continued deployment of American forces in the region only increases the strategic and military costs for what it called aggressors. Tehran also warned that US military bases and deployed forces would remain vulnerable in the event of any future regional conflict.